Yes, you read the title correctly. I did indeed make 5,500 paper stars for my best friend for Christmas. And this is the video where I will tell you how I planned it and how I executed it because it took me approximately a month and a half to do. Hi, my name is EJ, and if this is your first time watching me, welcome. I can't tell you what kind of videos I make on this channel, so I am going to just say that I'm a variety channel because I make various different kinds of videos. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this one and subscribe. I plan to make this video for like a while. It is now way after Christmas. But it took a lot of like meticulous planning, which I don't normally do. I'm not a planner, but I really like this idea. And throughout this video, I will state that I doubt myself a lot, and I definitely sat there and thought, is this a good gift idea? I don't know, but I obviously got through it. So I do have an outline of things that I want to talk about when I came to this video, so I'm not just rambling all over the place, but honestly, that I'm probably still going to do that because that's just me. I end up doing that. Let's talk about how I came up with the idea. First of all, I didn't come up with the idea fully. I saw this TikTok.
I was in the mental hospital. The only thing I did was make paper stars. So I spent 12 to 16 hours every day just making paper stars. And there was this one girl, and she would steal some of my paper stars. She'd sit next to me and put them in her pocket. But I continued to make the paper stars. I was there for 1 week. And then I got let out. What did I do with my new freedom? I made more paper stars. I kept making paper stars. I made them till my fingers were sore. I made them until I could no longer fold the paper. And then, after all of that, I made more paper stars. So this is probably 3 weeks worth of paper stars. Every single one is a paper star.
And I was like, I got a light bulb in my head. And I was like, oh, you know what? I I have a brilliant idea. And so in my head, after watching the TikTok, I was like, what if I make a certain amount of stars that represented the decade-long friendship of me and my best friend? If you don't know, this is my best friend Wendy. We've been best friends for over 10 years. We don't really know the specific amount of years because we've just known each other since like middle school. So I approximated and I just said 15 years because 15 years translated into days is 5,500. Hence where I got the number 5,500. And from there, the rest is history. So here's how I plan this out. I wrote it all down in my notes app. I figure if I make 125 stars per day, I would get to 5,500 by Christmas Eve, right? Look at me doing the math. Girl mathing over here. Obviously, the materials. I'm going to state this right now. I really underestimated the size of this project because I was like, oh, 5,500 stars. That's not a lot. I genuinely thought it was going to take up the size of this pickle jar right here. Naive. That's what I was. I was naive. I think it's because I saw the paper stars and I was like, they're really small. They'll fit in a pickle jar. Yeah, I really don't know. I really don't know why I thought that. I was really bold and really confident that like this was going to be an easy project, and it definitely was not. I think I stated in Vlogmas that this was not for the faint of heart, and I'll get into that. But anyway, so when it came to materials, I started off with any and all paper that I had in my vicinity at my desk. So that's what I started off with first. And then eventually I wanted to get like cuter star paper, and I was wanting to go to like Michael's, Joann's, Hobby Lobby, but like I didn't really want to go there. That was like last resort if I couldn't find it in any other craft store. And what's crazy, guys, I was telling Wendy everything I was doing to throw her off the scent, throw her off the path, you know? She wouldn't have known this was a gift for her if I was telling her. Wendy knew what I was doing. Again, not even knowing that it was for her. So I started off using paper that was at my desk, and then eventually I had to buy star paper from Amazon twice because for some reason Star paper is hard to find. And then also one of the materials that I thought I was going to be holding the paper stars in was those pickle jars. Right here, this is about 100 paper stars. And I thought I was going to be fitting 5,500. Insane. And then later on down the line, when I was getting close to being finished, I also had this. I bought this gallon mason jar from Target for $20, and it only fit like 75% of it. And that was when I wasn't even done yet. So I was like, if it only fit 75% of the paper stars I currently had at the time. Oh man. Oh no. Oh man. What? Oh. It was not going to fit 5,500 paper stars. So I wasted $20 for nothing. And I can't even, like, I could return this, but I think the return window probably closed. So I might just have to like give it away or sell it. But this has just been sitting on my apartment floor since. Eventually, I had to buy a $10 vase from Goodwill that ended up, holding all the paper stars, but there was so much gap. And I was like, God, I can't win. But you know what? As long as it holds all the paper stars that I made, I was going to take it. At one point when I was making the paper stars, I had them in this Toy Joy paper bag, which I think is wild because the Toy Joy paper bag could hold all the paper stars, but the mason jar that I bought from Target that was $20 couldn't. Anywho, the day I started actually making the paper stars was November 12th, 2023. That was the same day that I planned out what the gift was. And then I finally finished on December 22nd, 2023. So literally a month and a half. It was honestly, I think it's one of the best experiences I think I could have ever done. One thing that I really liked about the paper stars was it kept my hands busy. I think it really helped that not only was I making something for my best friend, but I was also like I said, just keeping my hands busy and my mind at bay, especially since I can like get really antsy when I'm not like doing something at the same time. Like for example, if I'm watching like a YouTube video or like a movie, I feel like I need to be doing something at the same time. Here is where I hit 1,000 paper stars. I broke the first 1,000 of 5,000 is in this bag. I did it. We are a quarter. No, we're like a fifth of the way there. Oh, I didn't think I would get there, honestly, because I just thought I was going to get so behind because there are other things that I have to do and things that are in my brain that like, oh, I can't make 5,000 stars before Christmas. I'm at 1,010 stars, so that just means I have 4,590 to go. Yeah, every time I think I'm like hitting it and doing well, like I hit 1,000, I'm like, yeah, I'm really getting it, I'm really going, like I'm ahead of the game, but I still have like so much more left to go. I'm one of those bitches, I'm one of those friends that will go full send. If I feel like I'm not doing enough, I will try my best, the best of my abilities to do better. This is our friendship in days, in paper stars. Another thing that I've been doing is like double checking my stars all the time to catch ones that have either like fallen out of its shape or like undone itself, to take those out and redo them, because I want all my stars to be like uniform and like look put together and like not one is out of place. The state of the stars is not supposed to be representative of the days, okay? At this point, I can do paper stars in my sleep. It is like one of my favorite pastimes. I was going to do a paper star tutorial for y'all, but I used all of the like leftover star paper that I had. I used the leftover and I just made paper stars. So I can't really like show you how to do it, but if you just like, I don't know, look on YouTube or like even on TikTok, there are like star paper tutorials everywhere. So you don't really need me to give you a star paper tutorial, but I think I recorded myself trying to do it, trying to explain it. So here's that clip. Okay, here's a paper star tutorial. So the paper I'm using is specifically made for star paper. I bought a over like 2,000 strips off Amazon for less than like $15. But if you don't have the strips or you don't want to buy star paper, then store-bought is fine. I made these in preparation before I bought the star paper, so that way I can make sure that I have literally enough to make 5,000 stars. Now, you're probably not going to make 5,000 stars like I am, but those are your two options. I like the star paper because it's a little bit more structured. Loose leaf is a little, like I said, it's in the title, it's loose, but it still works. I've obviously have made several, as you've seen throughout this journey, but for this purpose I'm going to be using the star paper. So it really doesn't matter which side you start on. The way that I do it, it'll always end up with the print on the correct side. So I'm gonna start on the blank side facing me. So the first thing you want to do is make a loop. I've been doing this for a while, so the size of the loop doesn't really matter to me, but when you're first starting off, you're gonna want to make one that's kind of small to medium size. And then when you're kind of holding it, it looks like a little roller coaster loop, like that. And then you'll shift it a little so it kind of looks like a ribbon, like that. And then you're gonna take the shorter side of the ribbon and put it through the loop and grab the end and pull the longer side until it kind of forms into a pentagon. And for me, the best way for me to decide that I have like a pentagon is if the corners are touching, the corners of the paper. For me, that proves that like I have an even base all around. You can even pull a little on the short side so that way you can really try. I even shift it a little and then you flatten it. So that way you have a flat base to work with. This is what it should look like for you. And like I said, it really doesn't matter what side you start with, but if you're learning, you can always just start on one side, so that way you can get used to the fluid motions of making it. And then once you've been making it for a while, you can start on either side. I'll show you how to do it on the blank side, and then I'll show you how to do it on the print side. So now that you've got your pentagon, if you have any excess, which you should, there shouldn't be like a tail. You're going to take the tail and just fold it into the pentagon, like on top of it, like that. Should be folded on top, like that. Then you're going to take the longer side and you're just going to start folding it on top of each other. My best advice when doing this is, for example, when you fold this over, you're going to want to follow the direction that the paper falls forward. You want to make sure that it falls over the edge, like that. When it falls over the edge, you want to follow, like I said, the direction of where the paper is going. So the paper fell this way and it fell over this edge. And so you're going to want to fold it over whatever edge it lands on, like that. And it should just be like one sort of motion where it falls over a certain edge. You never want to fold it over a corner. I think that's not the correct way to do it. So you just keep doing that, keep folding it over whatever edge it naturally falls over. You're just gonna keep doing that, and I'll show you what happens when you start running out of paper. Here we are at the end. As you can see, I have like a similar tail of like what I had at the beginning when I folded the shorter end of the tail into the loop. So there are two things you can do. Sometimes you will get like a longer one. So like, for example, like this, you can have this long one, and you can decide yourself if you want this to be the end or if you feel confident enough to fold it over one more time and then get something like this. So when you get to this point right here, I just, based on instinct, do whatever works. So like for me, if this feels short enough to tuck it in, I will go ahead and just do so. You're gonna tuck it into this longer part right here, like so. And you just keep tucking it in until it's flush to the edge, like that. Now, if you want to, see, you can fold it one more time to see if like it'll meet the edge, but see, when I fold it, there's no other, like there's no remaining. You want to have some remaining at the end so you can tuck it into itself. That's how it stays in shape. So for example, if you have a longer tail like this and you don't want to check and see if it'll fold over one more time, you can definitely just
fold it in on itself like that and then tuck it. You always want to tuck it into the side with the biggest opening, so like this longer side. Like that. And the thing is like if you can tell that it's long enough for there to be wiggle room for one more fold, you can absolutely do so. Like I said, it's really up to preference if you want to fold it in on itself or you want to fold it over one more time to see if you can have a shorter tail. But this is what you should end up with. A little pentagon. And now I take these 3 fingers, so your thumb, your index, and your middle, and you're gonna stabilize it by holding it like this. You're gonna take your thumbnail and you're gonna press into the middle of the edge. And you're gonna do that for all 5 edges until you form a star. Yay! And like I said, once you do this like a couple of times, you'll be able to do it pretty quickly. I've been doing it for literally like 4-5 days now, so I've pretty much got it pat down. Enjoy the rest of the video.
Once I finish all the paper stars, this is how I put it all together. So like I said, I got this $10 vase at Goodwill, and lo and behold, it fit all the paper stars. Hallelujah, because I was like on the brink, you know? December 22nd, finished the paper stars. Now it's just like putting it all together, right? So I got that vase, it went in there. I was like, great. But now what are we going to do about the top? Because it's a vase, you know? Vases don't really come, vases, they don't really come with like a lid or like a top, you know? And then I was like, okay, let me just like find like a cork board, like a cork stopper. They don't make ones that big, and I wasn't really wanting to buy like thick corkboard material to make one. Sorry. So I asked some of my neighbors in my apartment complex, what do I do? How do I cover this? And one of my neighbors had a giant rubber band that fit perfectly like under the lip of the vase. And then I bought this like sparkly tissue paper, but like it was like a tablecloth, a sparkly tablecloth, and I just cut it into a circle, like the circumference of the vase opening, mouth opening, whatever. And then I like held it with the rubber band, and then I put like a little bow on it with ribbon. So that was the assembly of the gift. I swear to God, one thing that I kept thinking about when I was making this gift was I cannot believe how massive this project is. And on top of that, one of my least favorite things about doing this was counting the stars. And like it was one of those things where I had to keep track of how much I was making because I needed to make sure that like I was on track to 5,500. And one of my least favorite things about math is counting, because I don't know what's up with my brain, but like my brain can't hold on to a number to save its life. I'll count to like 10, 20, 30, and then if I don't keep that number in my head, I'll start counting and then forget what number I was on. So yeah, it was a nightmare for me. I hated it. You saw that in my Vlogmas vlogs. I hated it. I was like struggling. I was like, help me, God. It took me 2 days to like count it all. And then even when I counted it all, I was still like 200 to 300 short, because I was also doing quality control on top of that, because some of the little paper stars either like unraveled or got crumpled, or they just didn't look good, you know? So like I had to take some of those out and then remake them with whatever star paper strips I had left. And then finally, when I was done, I think I was like over by like a couple. And I was like, you know what, I'll take it, because you know what, Wendy's not going to count those. She's not going to count every individual paper star, and she's just going to have to trust that I made 5,500. And I did, okay? I counted them all, and I wasn't going to recount them. I made 5,500 paper stars, and I'm really proud of it. It's one of my favorite things to date. What's funny is that when I started, like in the middle of making this project, Wendy and I actually talked on the phone, and we discussed about making handmade projects for each other for Christmas to save money, and just like they're just more meaningful when they're handmade. And what's so funny is like I was already in the middle of making those paper stars, so I was like, oh girl, I'm one step ahead of you, but I didn't say that. I was just like, oh yeah, that's a great idea, I like that, I would love to do that. And then she never really gets handmade gifts, so I was like, this is perfect. I'm already like I'm like one step ahead, I'm doing it. Little did I know she was also one step ahead, and this was her Christmas gift to me. Okay, she made me a whole ass bag with my favorite flower, sunflower. Isn't that insane? Look at that. This is so pretty. Did I break it? Wait, hold on. Is there a stitch that's out? That's my fault. That's not her fault. That's my fault. So she had that bag finished like in the summer. So we were already doing stuff without the other person knowing. And that's just on best friends. Here's a picture of Wendy holding the vase, cradling it like a baby, and it's just so funny to me, and I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite things I've ever done. I would absolutely do it again in a heartbeat for someone I care about, because it is just fun, and and like I said, it kept my hands busy and my mind calm. Definitely would recommend it. It's really fun. Once you get the hang of it, it's really hard to stop. Like even now, like I don't have any star paper, but yesterday I really was contemplating, like I think I have still some like notebook paper, and I want to like cut it into strips so I can make more paper stars. It's one of my favorite things that I have come to learn to do. I definitely think it's a great milestone gift. I said this in Vlogmas. If you want to make something meaningful or a milestone gift, I think paper stars are really great. They're really inexpensive. Like it was less than $10 for both like packs of star paper strips that I bought off Amazon. Like I said, if you want to do 10 plus years of paper stars, then like sure, go for it. But coming from experience, obviously 5,500, that was like actually insane of me to do. But yeah, this was one of my favorite things that I did in 2023. I think it's the most effort I put into anything ever. It was a lot more simple than I expected it to be. It was simple in planning, but it was meticulous in execution. Like I said, I think it's a great handmade gift to symbolize like a milestone or a period in your life that was important to you and whoever it is in that you're gifting it to. But forewarn that it will take some time. And if you have a deadline, girl math it out, that's pretty much it. It's funny. I gave it to her and she's like, I don't know where I'm going to put this. And I was like, yeah, I was thinking about that, but you're going to have to figure it out, bestie, because that's our friendship in paper stars. And you're just gonna have to deal with it forever and ever, as long as we're friends. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, seeing my trials and tribulations of making this gift. I think it was well worth it. I would do it again. If you have any questions on what I did on star paper, drop them down below. Again, if this is your first time seeing me, check out some of my other stuff. I don't know. I had one video go viral once and it wasn't even about me. So go ahead and check that out. Check out the rest of my stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!